3 things I wish I knew in my early 20s. Be celibate. I'm not saying be celibate for the rest of your life, but at some point in your 20s, it is extremely beneficial to practice some sort of celibacy. You do not know your dating standards until you know how to abstain from sex. I wish the version of me that has been celibate for a long time would just hug the version of me that thought that was supposed to be a part of my everyday life. I'm not even attracted to the same type of people. And red flags start looking real red once you learn to actually go without intimacy. Number 2, babe. If you spent a third of the time that you spend getting to know other people on getting to know yourself, you would be so much further in life. That is actually a sub to myself. A lot of us have dated longer than we've ever really been single. And your brain chemistry is so much different when you're constantly focused on a relationship rather than focused on loving you. And until you allow yourself to be single for a while, your brain is going to get so used to absorbing other people's lives, it's going to start neglecting itself. I didn't realize until I allowed myself to be single for 3 years that I was dating the same type of people over and over again. That actually stemmed from my childhood. I was dating people that filled a void within me, and that void was abandonment and self-hate. But you won't know that until you allow yourself to live in solitude. And speaking of solitude, number 3, every person in their 20s needs to live alone at least once. I probably said this before, and I will say it again and again and again and again and again. It is a necessary process, a necessary chapter in your life that you need to embark on. It's called living alone. I cannot describe to you the feeling because you have to witness it on your own. Maybe when I tell you I was naked for a month, butterball, ass out. I try to describe to people that have never lived on their own all the time what it felt like to pick up my keys, to decorate my own apartment, to cook for me only. For some people, we already have children, so it's too late to live on your own. But I'm telling you, if you can help it, please allow yourself that moment of solitude because you are going to love it. I guarantee you. Follow me because you know I'm right.
Hey everyone, welcome back to No SIS. It's your girl Miss Kafue as always, and today we are going to be listening and learning some of the most valuable lessons these women learned in their 20s. Disclaimer: these lessons don't just apply to 20-something-year-olds, they apply to anyone within any age bracket, and I thought they were really helpful. So I was watching these videos and I was like, I really have to share these with my ladies. Like, I really have to share this with you. And please stick around. Like, these were the most mind-blowing and eye-opening lessons I've had in a while. And I want to hear your thoughts down below. Like, what are some lessons you've learned up to where you are? Myself, I'm 28 and I've learned some really valuable lessons throughout, but I'll be back to give my take on this video after the clips have played. So without wasting much time, let's get into the video and then I'll see you in a while.
To be a woman of purpose, you must be a woman of principle. And your principles need to be very, very clear. You can't write affirmations if you don't have principles. Where are your principles coming from? What's the source? Because I think one thing that is easy to get swept up in is allowing affirmations from random places or just bringing together some kind of I don't know, just some kind of amalgamation of different sources together and then declaring that over yourself. There really is power in seeds and there really is power in words. So make sure you know where those words are coming from. What's the source of your seeds?
The biggest mistake people in their 20s are making, they're trying so hard to find love. Don't get me wrong, love is great. It feels great when you find somebody. However, your 20s are made for you to get to know who you are. Learn about yourself, travel, explore the world. And then one day when you're gonna be so happy with who you are and you're gonna be so content with your life, the right person is gonna come into your life that's gonna match that energy.
Young, beautiful girl, this is what I want you to do in your 20s. This is what I want you to do in your 20s. In your 20s, I want you to prioritize yourself. I want you to have friends that are outside of your profession. Have friends that work at a bank. Have friends that are pursuing law degrees. Have friends that work in healthcare. Keep your circle different. I want you to never loan a man money. I don't want you to give him money. If he's not your husband, I don't want you giving him $1. Every money, every penny that you earn, you keep for yourself. You give it towards your family. I don't want you giving it to a man. I want you to notice those red flags in your partner or in a potential partner, and I want you to validate them. I don't want you to go through them. I don't want you to go through them twice. Validate them. Be okay with moving on. Be okay with being lonely.
8 things that I wish somebody would have told me in my early 20s. Number 1, you're going to block your blessings trying to keep the wrong people around. A lot of the things you're praying for haven't come yet because you haven't let certain people go. Number 2, stop making friends based off of aesthetic. Just because y'all look cute hanging around each other does not mean your energies match. And number 3, not everybody's your friend. And I know listen, I know it's cliche to say that, but everybody just doesn't have the same intention as you. And that leads me to number 4. It's okay to not have friends, because number 5, a lot of people don't have friends because they see through people's fake energy very well. Number 6, it's okay to switch up the rules. It's literally your life only. But number 7, stop looking for things to never go wrong and start looking for ways of how to handle it better next time. And number 8, sometimes we stress more about how it feels in the moment rather than actually paying attention to the lesson that this pain is teaching us.
Some advice I would give you if you're not 25 yet. First and most important thing, break up with your boyfriend right now. Leave that man alone. Leave that situationship alone. Men will take and take and take and take from you subconsciously. Baby, they will run you dry. So do yourself the biggest favor and go through the withdrawals of being without that man. Start a side hustle, start your own business, do something for yourself. Stay away from those friends that are too scared to do anything. Stay away from those friends, no goals, have no aspirations, that don't want to do anything. Cut people off. You don't owe them any explanation. This is your life. This is your energy. And if they get mad about it, so fucking what? Let them realize that they actually ain't shit. Get it through your thick skull right now that that man just wants to fuck you. It doesn't matter that he takes you out to eat, that he buys you, he just wants to fuck you. Men will have sex with literally anything. They have no standards when it comes to who they're going to sleep with. Start journaling and getting into your subconscious mind, because this world is fucked up. Our parents are fucked up and they fuck us up, and the people in our family fuck us up. That's just point blank period. Try your hardest to not become a baby mama. Like, try your hardest not to get pregnant, because your first, second, third, fourth boyfriend is not your soulmate, and that is not your husband. Get that through your head right now. If you're in a relationship in high school, that's not gonna last. I'm gonna be the one to tell you right now that that's not gonna last. Do what you gotta do to move out of your parents' home. Do what you gotta do to leave your hometown. Do what you gotta do to move. If you feel like you've outgrown your city, do what you have to get your ass up out of there. Go after your creative passion sooner than later. You know how many 30-year-olds I meet talking about, if I would have just started when I was young. I think about that all the time, and I take it into consideration because I love to make music, so that's what the fuck I'm gonna do. I meet older artists that are always like, if I would have just blah, blah, blah. Don't be that person. Do not ever let your friend move in with you. Learn to love your alone time. Be careful who you call your friend, because there are a lot of people that are envious of you. Not jealous, they're envious because they know they will never get the response from the world that you get.
3 things I wish I knew in my early 20s. Cut your family off. Hear me out. If your family is toxic, do not be afraid to cut them off. The best decision I have ever made was no longer spinning the block with my own relatives. I am not going to take several steps back in my healing journey by trying to heal in the same place that hurt me. Number 2, stop seeking approval from people that are not living your life. I cannot tell you how many people I know that genuinely do not make decisions without getting approval from family. Baby, you 36. I'm not asking you about anything I'm doing in my life. I'm telling you. And you'll be lucky if I do that. Number 3, your journey is not supposed to look like theirs. Everybody is not supposed to be in the same place or moving at the same pace. Nobody is doing better than you. You can only do better than you, because the grass that looks greener just might be fake.
It took me 4 years to learn what I'm about to teach you in the next minute and a half. It is never too late to reinvent yourself. You can decide that everything you have done up until this point in your life is irrelevant. You can choose today, right now, to start a completely new book, because your past does not have to equal your future unless you choose to live there. For years, I thought the identity that I was creating in the early stages of my 20s was going to be the identity I was going to have for the rest of my life. And it just doesn't have to be that way. I heard this quote from Tony Robbins, and it has just completely shaken my world. He says, the biggest conflict that humans experience on a daily basis is the need to remain consistent with how they choose to identify themselves. And that need to remain consistent is usually what forces people to stay stuck in how they've always been. There's just so much peace and beauty in knowing that just because you did something one way for a long period of time doesn't mean you have to keep doing it that way. You don't have to just like manage your day-to-day, manage your circumstances. You can actually be the creator of your own life. And when that really clicked for me, I started to get excited about living again. The Sunday scaries started to go away. I just got really excited about the future, and I want you to know that the same thing can happen for you. I'm telling you, if you're feeling stuck in your life right now, do something differently. Change something, make a power move. You deserve a life on your terms. You deserve a life that you're freaking obsessed with.
The one analogy that keeps me thriving in my 20s. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's say there's a wall in front of you, right? And on the other side of that wall is the dream version of yourself, the woman that you've always aspired to be. What you need to figure out is, how in the world are you getting to the other side of that wall to meet that woman? Don't let anything distract you from getting to the other side of that wall. If a man comes along the way, fine. Don't let him distract you. If you make some new friends along the way, cool. Do not let it distract you. Your only goal is getting on the other side of that wall. Every time you accomplish a goal, the wall comes down a bit. Every time you heal from past trauma, the wall comes down a bit. Every time you let go of those relationships that's stunting your growth, whether it's friends, family, romantic, the wall comes down. But every time you stick around or participate in things that you know is not in alignment with the woman on the other side of that wall, baby, the wall is coming up. How bad do you want to meet that woman on the other side of the wall, Bookie? You got to be willing to put that work in, okay? Girl, whether it's going to therapy, going back to school, getting that new job, whatever it is, put that work in. And before you know it, baby, the woman behind the wall is you. I am she, and she is me. Y'all, I promise I'm not trying to be super deep, but that's what keeps me motivated in my 20s. I got to meet that lady. Thanks for watching.
One thing I wish I knew before I started dating in my early 20s, sis. You'll never have to ask a guy that actually loves or likes you for anything. If you have to beg for romance, dates, reassurance, he's not interested, babe. I would give the same advice to my daughter. You'll never have to beg a man that actually wants to make you happy to make you happy. You're not asking for too much, you're just asking the wrong person.
The more confident that you are, the more quiet you become. Confidence is quiet and insecurities are loud. Confident people don't seek attention because they know who they are, they know what they bring to the table, and they know that they don't have to prove themselves. Truly confident people don't need validation from others. It's the ego that needs the attention and the validation. And that's why insecurities are always loud, because it's the ego talking.
Here are some friendship lessons I learned in my 20s. That girl who's obsessed with you, keep her away. She's not mentally well. If you have a falling out with someone and they don't take accountability for their actions, but after some time, they want to come back into your life and move on from what happened, don't be surprised if you have another falling out with them. If you have to constantly explain yourself to someone because they don't seem to understand you, they're probably not your people.
It's just on my heart to say this. If you are young, like you're in college, 18 to 22, in that stage, try everything. Anything you want to do, try it. If you don't know what you want to do in life, just go wherever your interests take you. If that's 10 things, try all 10 things. Trust me, you're going to start narrowing things down as you start to learn what things are about. Take a class, join a club at your school if there is one. Start a club at your school if it's really important to you. Ask somebody who's doing that, Try any way you can to get your foot in the door, because the more you do that, the more you will learn about yourself, and then the more you'll have a clearer picture of what you want to do by the time you get out of college, and the more selective you will be able to be in your job search instead of just having to take just any job, when you get out of college. Be intentional about your life, and this is like for everything, especially with your friend group or who you date. it's not working out with your boyfriend or girlfriend, break up with them. Don't do that thing where you've just been with them for X amount of years, X amount of months, so you're gonna stay together. No. Same thing with friends. If you find that your friend group is not who you want, they're not compatible with you, they're rude to you, they're catty to you, there's an obvious queen bee or whatever, like there's a dynamic that you don't like, fuck it. Leave them. Do not be scared to be alone. You will make new friends. If you're in college, especially, this is true because this is the last time that you will be in a building with mostly people your age who are in the same place in life as you. Ditch that shit. Don't do that thing where you think that you're stuck in situations. You are never as stuck as you think you are, especially when you're that young and at that stage in your life. You could literally be one person today and you could be one person tomorrow. Literally, you could be one person today and another person within 5 minutes. That was then, this is now. To the extent that you can, you want to be selective and you want to handpick your life. You don't want to just kind of be a log that's adrift at sea. You don't want to just be blowing wherever the wind takes you. You want to be the captain of the ship. You want to be in the driver's seat. Because a life where you're not in the driver's seat is a life that you're going to resent. And when you resent your life, you become depressed and you end up not even having the energy to change your life. Now, life is life. There are always some curveballs it'll throw at you. There are some things that just get handed to you that you don't pick and choose. But the extent that you can, pick and choose. Try your best to be on a path instead of just making temporary moves to get through the day. At the end of the day, you want to be able to look at your life and say, this is a life that I designed. If you do that thing where you take any old job, any old partner, any old friends, your life will be miserable. Desperation is the path to misery. Believe that. And whatever you do, no matter how stressful your life gets, please try to never let go of your passion. Please try to never let go of the stuff you love that makes you you. That's what's going to get you through the hard times. If you let that go, you will become a shell of yourself. And you'll wonder where the hell the years went and why it's been years or months since you last done the things that you love. And if you're in a toxic job and you're in ages 18 to 22, quit that shit. I'm telling you, a toxic job will drain your energy like nothing else. That's energy that you could be using to find a better job. You're young. At that age, no one gives a damn about your employment history. I'm telling you. Now, once you get out of college, it's a different ballgame, or hell, out of, the typical college age. But use your youth to your advantage. Quit. Do not stay in a toxic job and allow them to abuse you. Unless you're in a position where you have a baby, you have, rent and bills, whatever, you're completely financially supporting yourself. That's different for you. But if you're lucky enough to be living in the dorms or living with your parents or having financial support in some way, do not unnecessarily put yourself through any bullshit at work. You got the rest of your life to do that. And always be meeting new people. Best friends today can be enemies tomorrow. It's always good to be constantly in the process of developing new relationships. Plus, it builds your network, which is something that you're really going to need when you enter the workforce, if you haven't already. Because sadly, in this world, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And who knows you.
Ladies, I'm back to give my take on these videos. So I agree with the lady who says that we must practice some form of celibacy. You have to practice some form of celibacy, whether you're 30, whether you're 40, whether you're in your 20s, you have to practice some form of celibacy at some point in your life. Like myself, I've practiced this since my last long relationship in 2021. Since then, I've been celibate. And it feels so nice once you're celibate for a long time, or even for a couple of months, close to a year, or even some few years. I don't know what your time range looks like for you, but you have to practice some form of celibacy. Let me tell you, you'll achieve mental clarity. That's the first thing. You tend to see things clearly, no confusions. You see how some men will come into your life and confuse you. Some men can literally ruin the trajectory of your life. Once you practice celibacy, even the red flags become clearer. Hey, or did I just say clearer? Oh, Jesus. Become clearer. If you know anything about people from my tribe, by the I'm a Kenyan and a Kikuyu to be specific. So people from my tribe have a problem with L and R. So if you hear me confusing between the two sometimes, just understand it's the mother tongue effect. So anyway, back to the video. So I agree with that. Like, practice celibacy. Have you practiced celibacy yourself? So I'd love to know your thoughts down below. And I agree with the fact that you don't know your dating standards until you've been celibate. You would think you know, but you really don't know your dating standards until you've been celibate. Try it. People who know. That is an unnegotiable. If you know, you know. And the point that I was saying about mental clarity. Dating alters your mental chemistry for real, for real. Like, it alters your mental chemistry. Sometimes, personally, I realize that I'm more productive, I'm more organized. Like, I do things the right way. My life goes smoothly when I'm not entangled with a person. Like, when I'm single and I'm by myself, when I'm not talking to any man, when I'm not stressed about any man doing this, cheating on me, doing that, like, that's when I thrive. But the moment I let a man into my life, everything goes south. I don't know what is wrong. I don't know whether I'm the one who picks the wrong man or what goes on. But everything will always go south. I don't know. So nowadays, I don't really prioritize dating. Like, I've decided to, like, put it aside. Like, if it comes, it comes, but I'm not looking for it. I've decided to put it aside as I pursue my dreams. Like, this is the time when I'm most productive, when I'm most energetic. Like, I have a lot of time in my hands. Like, I only have one child and I do a co-parenting relationship. So when he's there, I tend to be more productive on making things work on my side. Because when you're with him and I have to work my 12-hour shift job, it's really hard. But I try. But without a man, I've realized, even with that child, I tend to do more. But even if you didn't have a child and you have that man there, especially a man who hates you, a man who doesn't support you, a man who wants to see you fail, you'll never achieve anything. Like, your mental is not clear. Your mental chemistry is normally ruined for it. And something that I choose to disagree with that lady who says that it's too late if you have a child. No, it's not too late. Myself, I have a child and I still practice living alone, being alone, cooking meals for myself, going places alone, doing things by myself. Like, I still enjoy it despite having a child. But I understand that situations are not the same. Maybe some people don't have someone who will take the weight off sometimes by having the child for a few days so that you can take that weight off. But I agree that you can always have that time. Like, you can always have. I believe if you want something so much, you'll always have it. Like, you can get someone to watch your kids and then you go out and have a good time, even by yourself. Like, you re-energize, you recharge your battery, your social battery. Like, not every time someone wants to be a mom. Let's just be honest. Motherhood is hard. I don't know why people are lying out here, but people are always lying. It's hard. It's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life. But it's also the most tiring and the most demanding job. Like, you have to be on your A game to be a good mom. Your battery has to be 100% to be a good mom. You can't be a good mom if you're like 10%. You can't. You'll be shouting at your kids. You'll be irritated. You won't enjoy it. But once you take some time off from those kids, from that kid, even from your partner, like, you'll come back feeling rejuvenized. Like, you'll come back feeling like you really want to be there. Not because you have to be there, but because you want to be there. There's a difference. So I'm a firm believer of also there is power in words. Like, please, your subconscious picks up what you say, despite whether it's good or it's bad. And your subconscious doesn't know whether you're joking. It will believe everything you say. So, and another thing, love comes when you're not looking. Like, I agree with this lady who says, like, you want to date once you're really content with yourself. Like, once you're really happy with who you are, that's when you want to date. Like, personally, I'm at a place whereby I've been doing the healing work for 3 years now. Right now, I'm at a place whereby I'm really happy with myself. Of course, there are things like you are always working on, like, never stop working on yourself. You're always a working project. But I'm really happy with where I am right now and who I am. Like, this is the person I've always wanted to give another person if I was to date again or if I was to be in a committed relationship. Like, this was always the person that I wanted to be. I didn't want to be a broken person when I'm with that person. I really didn't want to them to be my punching bag for everything I've gone through. No, I really wanted to be the best self, improve on the things that maybe I was inadequate on in my previous relationship, and like give it the best moving forward. So you wanna date when once you're very content with yourself. And this is not like only in your 20s. No, even if you're in your 30s, in your 40s, it's never too late to start again. Like you can decide today is the last day of my former life and tomorrow is the beginning of a new one, or even today is the beginning of a new life. Today is the beginning of the life that I've always wanted. And trust me, it will work for you. You have to be very delusional. You have to be very delusional when it comes to these things because you'll achieve it. Personally, I believed in myself with this YouTube channel to the point that I sounded very delusional. Like, if you know me, people didn't believe in me. Like, they thought I was just, this is another just thing. But right now, they are like very surprised. And something else I've learned, don't make friends based on aesthetics. Make friends based on your compatibility in terms of your mind, in terms of adding value, and in terms of your energy. Is your energy compatible? That's something else you have to ask in yourself. And the men you date in your 20s, like 21, especially 21 to 25, they don't really matter. You don't even know who you are at that point. And men will take from you. They will take, as long as you allow it, and until they can't anymore. They'll take from you subconsciously, so cut them off, especially men that you date in your 20s, like 20 to 27 there, because you don't know yourself. These are always the men you'll always regret. So, another thing, I would agree with the lady who said, don't get pregnant before you're 25 or 26. You don't know who you are, and most times these men end up to be our baby daddies. Like, you end up regretting the whole thing except your child. Like, you end up regretting it. Like, you end up telling yourself, I should have waited. Or like, sometimes you have those thoughts. And by the time you notice it, you're so drained. So in your 20s, like right now, I decided when I was 27 last year, it was not too late to start chasing my dreams again. It was not too late. So as someone who had a child at 23 years old, I thought my life was basically over because all those years until the child reached the age of 4, before he started school, basically, I thought my life was over because my whole identity was always wrapped around this child. All my time was always revolving around this child. But since I started my co-parenting relationship and since I employed other resources, other helpful resources, I'm able to have time for myself. I'm finally able to tap into my creative energy. And it has been good. Like, tap into your passion sooner than later, because later you'll have, like, once the years go by, I think you have more to take on. Maybe now you'll have 3 kids, like maybe in 10 years I'll have 3 kids, who knows, or even if I'll just have 1 kid, like I'll have more things to work on career wise, and like things continually come up. So it's good to tap into your passion sooner than later, especially now that you're younger. Like, trust me, in 10 years, no matter what age you are right now, in 10 years you'll be older than you are right now. So it's good to tap into it right now when you feel it, because the more the more time you take, you kill that passion, you kill that dream. Another thing I support is never live with your friend. You'll always end up arguing and breaking up. Never live with your friend. Also, never move in with your man that's not your husband. Never move in with your man that's not your husband. It's like getting everything you need from a cow, and then why will you buy a cow if you're getting everything you need from the? That's the analogy people use. Like, that man will not marry you after you've given him all the wife treatment. No, don't give a boyfriend wife treatment. Don't do wifey shit for a boyfriend, please. And also move out as early as you can. You can't grow as long as you live with your family. You can't grow. The moment you start growing is the moment you take that step alone. So yeah, live by yourself. Like, move out as early as you can. That's the only time you'll be able to grow. Ladies, so living by yourself is very important. Move out as early as you can. That's the only time you'll be able to start growing. Like, and another thing I realized, cut off your toxic family. Your toxic family, your toxic friends, cut them off as soon as you can, like as early as possible. Because these are the type of people who will drain your energy from you. They'll drain your energy from you. Because that's the only time you'll be able to like soar to greater heights. Like some people need to be cut off before you can elevate. And not everyone is meant to come along with you in your journey. Like not everyone is in your next chapter of life. Yeah, cut them off. And it's never too late to reinvent yourself, as I've just said. And every day is a new day. Like right now, I'm really trying to work on my body goals. Like I've become so heavy, become so fat. I'm happy. Like Mimi, once I'm happy, like I tend to just grow fat. I don't know. Like once I'm too comfortable, I'm too happy, I tend to just like grow fat. But once I'm stressed, hey, I can grow thin. But I know it's not the same for everyone because some people actually tend to overeat. They grow fat when they are stressed. But personally, me, when I'm happy, I grow fat. But I don't want it to get out of line. So please, every day is a new day. Every day is the beginning of the life you want. Think about it that way. But also remember, change is hard. Change is not easy, but it's worth it. It's really worth it. And also heal your wounds. Always heal those wounds that you have. Always heal a wound that you have. You'll notice some of the bad choices you're making in your adult life stem from your childhood. Like there's an inadequacy or a trauma, a childhood trauma that leads you to make the decisions you're now making as an adult. Like if you take time to look at it, you'll realize what I'm saying. So heal, 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 heal. Always be a healing project. That's how I'll put, always be a healing project. Always improve on something. If you feel stuck, do something differently. That was also very eye-opening. If you feel stuck, like we all feel stuck at some point, it's good to like try something different. That's really true, by the way. Try something different. And don't let anyone tell you that you don't deserve the life you manifest and the life you want. Like you deserve a life you're fully obsessed with. Personally, I'm trying to create that life for myself. Like you deserve a life whereby when you wake up in the morning, you're so happy to be you. You're so happy to be living the life that you're living at that time. Also, ladies, I love the wall analogy. It makes so much sense. Like do whatever you have to do to meet the woman on the other side. There's always that woman on the other side. That woman will never go away because you're always a working project. That's how I tend to think of it. So do everything you can to like bring that wall down so that you can meet that woman on the other side sooner than later. So it's up to you. Like how bad do you need to meet the woman on the other side? It's you to decide. Like I really learned a lot from this video. Like I don't want to continue and continue and continue. Like it was all in the video. I don't know. I don't have much to add. I think this creator has told us enough. There's no need for me to repeat everything they've said. And I learned a lot. Let me know about you. Did you learn a lot from this video like I did? And like I say, these lessons don't just apply to people in their 20s or their 30s. They also apply to people in their 40s, 50s, 60s. I believe despite where you are in life, there's always something you can always learn from other people. Whether they are younger or older than you, there's always something you can always learn. And it's good to like be on a learning curve. Like be the teachable person. That's how you get ahead in life. Be a teachable person. Don't be proud. Don't be the person who can't be told anything. Like be a person who is teachable. So ladies, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. So until next time, stay positive, stay true to yourself, keep it cute always, and I'll see you in the next one. So I love you, ladies. Protect your energy, and I'll see you in the next one, ladies. So until then, bye.